We are sharing today from our trip to England. We went to England a couple weeks ago. All right, we are in England.
Yay!
Good morning, everybody. It's actually afternoon here.
It's not in the morning.
It's not in the morning. So, And we went there, we stayed at YWAM Harpenden. One of the draws in the trip was going to see another YWAM location. We've been with YWAM now for a year and a half, and we really just know Grimrood, our YWAM location.
You've been to several.
I've been to a couple others, yeah, but learning more about, you know, other locations in Europe and even getting to scope out. I think one of the things we talked about in advance of the trip and while we were there was getting to look at YWAM Harpenden as a possible staff location in the future. We're here in Norway for the next 2.5 years until our lease runs out. But
we're not moving anytime soon, but we still have to think ahead of where we're going to go in the future since we do have limitations on how long we can stay in Norway.
But it was definitely an interesting trip. There were some highlights and some challenges with it. And you'll probably see mostly in the footage that we're showing you most of the highlights. But you know, traveling with kids is definitely still a challenge, and especially when you're tired and stressed. You know, it was stressful driving on the left-hand side of the road.
It was stressful being the passenger of the driver driving.
It's probably more stressful for you than it was for me. The roads are very narrow there in some places. And
there's so many hedges you can't see where you're going.
Yeah, so maybe interesting. But we stayed at Harpenden and got to eat there and got to have our rooms there, which was, you know, nice to be in a family-friendly environment. There's fields there, and
it's a really nice base, really big open base with lots of kid-friendly things.
They have a cow. We went hiking in the woods one day. Got to just kind of let the kids run. One of the big benefits or big pluses for the trip, I think, was the weather was, you know, quite a bit warmer than Norway. It's only a 2-hour flight, but you know, no snow there, and we had sun, and
it actually was really sunny most of the time.
We decided to go on a couple little trips. We did have a rental car that we got for like 20 pounds for the whole week. So we took advantage of that. We drove to Oxford for a day. The Oxford trip was good.
If we had been going without kids, there would have been a lot more things I would have seen, but we were trying to make a touristy trip to a historic place fun for the kids because they don't like looking at old buildings.
Yeah.
So B was very clear several times. I don't want to look at old buildings. So we tried to do this like adventure treasure hunt that we got that we found online and that we got at a little tourist shop.
It worked really well.
It worked, but it was really hard. You have to.
It was 2.5 hours to complete it, so we did the first half of it and then gave up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Gave
us something to do for at least part of the time. We did see some cool places. Like we saw this church that John Wesley preached at, like the first place he ever preached at, which I never would even thought was there.
John and Charles Wesley went to school there.
Yeah, but I never would have. That wouldn't have been something I would have even thought of. You know, I'm thinking like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and.
Which we did go to the Eagle and the Child.
We did see that. The one place, one of the places that I went.
It's a pub where they used to go and have a writing club.
The Inklings.
Out of which came Lord of the Rings and the Chronicles of Narnia and other books.
We got to see that at least.
Yeah.
Put it in his box. What do you think, bagpipes?
I love it.
So then we went on, we kind of had some chill days, and I don't have footage from all the chill days because we were chilling.
We were just hanging out YWAM Harpenden pretty much most of the time.
Or
Harpenden. So every other day, like, we would chill at Harpenden, and then every other day we would try to go out and see things like within an hour or two from where we were staying.
Yeah.
So
the second travel, or the second like out day, we went to London. We were just like an hour by train outside of London, so we went to London, went to the British Museum and saw the Rosetta Stone.
Barely made it through there because the kids were touching every single glass thing in there.
Yeah. We were there for like 30 minutes.
Maybe.
And then left really fast. The kids were really excited about just getting to see the city. There were some street performers that were fun, and then getting to go on a double-decker bus.
And Buckingham Palace, we saw quickly.
Yeah.
And then left and went to a park nearby.
Yeah.
Because the kids weren't interested really.
And then Bella was really convinced that she should be able to see the Queen and maybe get lunch with the Queen. Anyway, then we went on several different, we got like an all-day pass on the transportation, went on several trains, or underground subways, or whatever they call them in England. But we went over and saw the Tower Bridge, which was cool, got to walk across that.
Tower of London. Ooh, somebody's unhappy. Are you unhappy?
Hey, I couldn't see that.
All right, here we
We
go.
were really tired by the bridge part.
It was fun though, it was pretty.
It was pretty, but
You were feeling it. You were
I
like,
was.
I'm loving this little cute little cobblestone street, remember that?
Oh my goodness, where's mommy taking us?
It does, it goes straight to the water.
Lunch. We went over and we got to visit Hillsong in London, which was cool after a decent day.
It was like 4 in the afternoon.
3:30.
Where do we take kids?
Okay, so the kids' church is behind. The church is a hotel.
Alright, buddy.
We should go forward, see the vision.
As well, so come on, let's have a look. Vision Sunday, yeah?
Then we went and got a tour of YWAM Harpenden. We got to see some of the facilities there. It's very nice and big.
The communication team at YWAM Harpenden. Nice to meet you guys.
They've got a lot of secondary schools there,
A
and
lot, and they're expanding. They have lots of plans that they just started of expanding.
we got to see some of the space that's
Are
going to
you
be
talking
renovated,
to?
a part of their future plans. Got to go to their cafe and get coffee there. It was really cool to get to try some lattes and let the kids play, and
Oh, they have a really nice cafe.
yeah.
It's cool because a lot of it's not just for the base, like it's
very open to
It's
the
very
community.
open to the neighborhood, and so like most of the people there were not people that were like staff or even students there. It was, you know, the neighborhood people, like a lot of moms with kids because they have a little kids playroom, and so that was really cool. It's very, very open to the community around.
And the last day, we started off going to Windsor Castle, which is the favorite kind of outside London
Residents of
residence of the royal family
The royal family.
over history. That was cool. That was definitely a castle. It looked like a castle. The kids were pretty
Legit
good that
castle. And we got to see the changing of the guard, and they have this really amazing long walk. I don't know, how long is it? A mile? It's just this
Well, only a mile is-
long road that goes all the way up to the front of the castle. But there's nothing, like it's just this long road with trees on either side, and it was a nice walk. It was just pretty, and the kids could run, and there was
day. Lots of dogs.
lots of dogs, but there was like fences, so
The kids could have
kids
some
could-
freedom.
yeah, it was nice.
And then we hopped in the car and we drove and got to the coast, the southern coast, which is not that far.
Not really.
Um,
It was a really pretty drive.
It was a pretty drive. We got to see some like highlands and some big green pastures with sheep on it. And then the southern coast of England, at least the section we were in, is known for having these big white cliffs. And so that was really cool to get to walk along the beach and get to let the kids just kind of play and try and keep them from getting wet, which of course didn't work. It was a really nice, pretty end to the trip. Overall, it was a good trip. We kind of debated during the trip because there were definitely some frustrating things, and I think one of the things looking back, like even in our trip to Kosovo, you know, was very challenging, and this trip kind of showed me at least that trip to Kosovo wasn't challenging because of Kosovo or because it was outreach or because of what it was challenging because it was our family, and we haven't really mastered the art of traveling as a family and learning how to support each other well. And I just get tired and stressed, and Tasha gets
I
tired and
think we
stressed.
try to do too much. Like I think,
Well, like we got tired the first day. We didn't even do anything to get there.
yeah.
But,
Well, I should say this.
okay.
When we got back to Norway, I had the weirdest feeling that I've never had before, where I got off the plane and walked into the airport and I heard someone speaking Norwegian and I was like, oh, I'm home. Praise God. Like, and I still don't speak Norwegian, but I was like, it just feels like, I think it just shows that we're probably, I mean all of us, but we're getting past that stage of Norway feels foreign or like still going through culture shock, but like more really acclimating to like, this is familiar, this is home, this is where we're supposed to be. Like, I've always wanted to visit England and I've always, yeah, it's like pretty much the #1 place I want to visit in the world, but it was kind of hard, the trip was kind of hard. But it was also good at the same time. But then I realized, even in thinking about future of like where we'll live after Norway, when we got back to Norway, I was like, I'm so glad we're not moving anytime soon. Like, I'm glad I'm not moving right now to England. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I'll move somewhere else, maybe back to the US, which I really miss the US, but like, I'm just so glad I'm not moving and that I'm going back home to Norway. And that was a really cool feeling to have coming back. And I think in some ways, just that alone was like worth the trip of that feeling.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, we're an American family living in Norway, working with YWAM, and we'd love to have you stick around, watch some more, hit that subscribe button. For those of you who are subscribed, hit that notifications button. We've never told you to do that before. There's a little bell down there. Hit that notification button, and you'll get notified when we post a new video. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Well,
There you go.